Today, I want to go back to the roots and analyze human chess in real life part 2. Obviously, we're hoping it will turn out better than the previous time. I'll give the human chess in real life chess part a total grade of 3+, because there is actually a reason for it.
I've never lost to a chess grandmaster.
You've never played a grandmaster.
So it starts with e4, e5, and c4, a transposition into the English. Queen g5, don't let the queen out early. You might think that d4 revealing an attack is best, but a direct attack unleashing the knight is much better. And after bishop e2 sacrificing the pawn, you castle, gallop the knight, and you're winning. But white played a different move.
You out there. Move to b3!
Knight c6, a normal developing move, and after an argument.
You have no idea what you're doing.
That's it! Marcus, d3!
That's a complete blunder because of queen takes g2. Now it's over, you can't save the rook, but white makes matters worse by knight f3 because the queen can now take the knight. Rook g1, bishop c5 threatening mate, and after rook f1, bring a devastating knight d4. After that they sell the bishop as bait, and after queen takes bishop and the knight maneuver, it's kinda smothered. What the hell? Black plays the second line of stockfish, which is queen takes rook, bishop blocks, b6 and queen defends knight, after which d5 unleashing the bishop is lethal. Black chooses a more peaceful bishop b7. We get d3, f5 giving up a pawn, knight f6, bishop g5, e4 giving the other pawn. Maybe black's plan is to open up lines and then bishop e7. Knight e4 was totally better. After which we run into our first problem. You see, the white king says,
On to b4!
but as we can see, it's actually b3. Knight h5, meaningless. After bishop e7, there are ridiculous things going on. Knight d4, and now comes the talk.
I hung the bishop, and if he notices, we lose the piece. You didn't notice the bishop!
Obviously, it was a trap. If I would have taken it, it would have been checkmate in 6 moves.
If black was to take the bishop, white would have checked, but it's still absolutely losing for white.
But you did make a fatal blunder. You let out my queen. Queen to e4.
But black found the best move and white blocked castles, and now white at least wins a pawn by bishop e7, but bishop e3, rook f5, and white really needs to change something, so...
Marcus, can you win this for us?
If you let me call the shots, yes. Bishop to d4!
That's bad. It allows check, knight check and fork, and knight e3 check. If pawn takes, it's mate in 3 after rook f1, queen d3 and bishop a3. So this is really bad for white. Black moves the bishop on the same diagonal but to c5. a4 just blundering the bishop, but black goes knight e5 and white hangs a mate in 1. Yes, knight f3 is just smothered checkmate. Black, however, plays this knight to g4. White plays f3, finally a move with an idea. Unfortunately, it allows bishop check. This series of checks and white loses the queen. However, black decides to blunder the queen, and even though they get it back, the rook is taken eventually. But white takes the knight happily.
But in order for this to work, you need to be sacrificed to a bishop. Take out this knight.
Black could continue the attack by rook takes, sacrificing it and queen h4, but they're just amateurs, so queen e8, a simple move. Knight c3, rook c5, knight d5, g6, and white thinks,
Knight to f6. You're forked.
Now you must choose who you will save! Yourself! Your queen! Or your knight! Wait, your knight? Where'd he come from?
After that, knight c3 is played, queen e6, rook c1, and black can now sacrifice the knight on g4 and check quickly mating, but they prepare it the other way by rook f8, finally not pointless. Plus, black shows white this.
Guys, I don't feel so good. I don't know how much longer I have.
Then king and bishop settle their argument.
We're about to lose our brother. You can prevent that!
Let's get your brother back.
The move played is b4, now for real, which blunders knight check, and bishop f3 winning the queen, and then checkmate. But black decides to hang the rook, but
Knight to b5.
unleashing the rook. But at the same time, black can just trade. But black decides to play knight e8, now blundering the full rook, and they can only save the queen by d5 and then c6. But now, try to make a guess. What was white's next move? I'm impressed if you guessed pushing a pawn on the opposite side of the board. Knight d6, white is scared of trading. Not sure what rook f7 does apart from getting it on the same diagonal as the hanging rook and the queen. Again, white plays a pointless move, and then we were shown another move by white, but based on a later image of the board, the move was rook g7. And then...
And he sacrifices the rook!
Knight recaptures and f4 hanging the king to queen e3. Knight d6, queen e2. I see no reason not to trade for black. Knight f7, knight c3, bishop c6. Random push and black hangs a queen. For the first time this game, white is better. A stake is on the table and white eats the plate. Knight takes d5, recapture. Maybe I'd like this massive trade to happen instead, but that's alright. White again tries to get onto the top of the mountain by sliding off. Bishop g2. Yes, this blunders a bishop, but queen h5. The white king says,
More pieces, more problems!
which really aligns with his playstyle this game, blundering everything. And f5, this is desperate. However, for the first time this game, black's greed favors white. Bishop takes g2 and...
Checkmate!
So the sides didn't play a real opening, although queen g5 is inspired by the Blackburn shilling. Then black was winning, but couldn't win even though white's ridiculous blunders and eventually gave it away to a back-ranked checkmate. Stockfish thinks they played around 40% accuracy. My verdict is 3 out of 5. Yes, all the moves were played according to the rules, but they were so absurd that the quality was overall worse than the first part. If you like this video, like the video, subscribe so I update the channel banner. See you later.